In the sun-drenched, emotionally charged world of Euphoria, Maddy Perez first appears as a force of nature, a girl crafted from confidence, sharp eyeliner, and an unshakable belief in her own power. She is, to everyone at East Highland High School, a queen. Her beauty is her armor, her relationship with the football star Nate Jacobs is her throne, and her fierce loyalty to her friends is her code. Yet, to see Maddy only as this defiant, glamorous figure is to miss the profound and painful story unfolding beneath the surface, a story not just of trauma, but of the raw, desperate ambition that becomes her only logical escape route. This ambition, mirrored and contrasted by her complex dynamic with her employer, Samantha, forms a central, silent scream in Maddy's narrative. It is not ambition for fame or academic success in a traditional sense, but a burning desire for a different life, a safer world, a version of herself that cannot be hurt. It is the engine she builds to flee the wreckage of her experiences. Maddy's trauma is rooted in two devastating soils: the toxic, abusive relationship with Nate Jacobs and the quieter, yet deeply impactful, environment of her home. With Nate, Maddy endures a cycle of manipulation, intense passion, psychological games, and physical violence, culminating in the horror of him choking her at a carnival. This relationship teaches her a brutal lesson about power and vulnerability. In her own home, while her parents clearly love her, their dynamic is marked by loud arguments, financial strain, and a model of love that seems entangled with conflict. From these experiences, Maddy learns to equate love with drama and pain, but she also learns a more survivalist lesson, that beauty and a fierce exterior are her primary tools for navigating a world where men can hurt you and stability is fragile. Her ambition, therefore, is not born from a simple dream of being rich or famous. It is born from a primal need for security and self-determination. She wants a life where she is in control, where her worth is not debated or beaten down, where she can own her narrative completely. This is why the world of glamour calls to her. It represents a realm where she can curate her image, build her own value, and achieve a kind of financial independence that looks like freedom. This is where Samantha enters the story, acting as a living, breathing preview of the life Maddy thinks she wants. Samantha is older, wealthy, polished, and seemingly autonomous. She lives in a stunning, minimalist home, buys expensive designer dresses on a whim, and presents a facade of complete control over her life and desires. To Maddy, cleaning Samantha's house and babysitting her child is not just a job, it is an apprenticeship in a different kind of existence. Samantha becomes a mirror, but one that reflects a distorted, complicated image of female success. Maddy observes her, studies her clothes, her possessions, her cool demeanor. She tries on Samantha's $15,000 dress not merely as a playful transgression but as a ritual, an attempt to literally step into the skin of a woman who appears to have escaped the chaos that defines Maddy's own life. In that moment, swirling alone in the lavish dress, Maddy is practicing a future self. She is visualizing the payoff of her ambition. Samantha's world seems to promise that the escape hatch leads somewhere real and attainable. A place of beautiful objects, quiet rooms, and no one to answer to. However, the relationship between Maddy and Samantha is far from a simple mentor-mentee dynamic. It is charged with envy, projection, and a shared, unspoken loneliness. Samantha, it is revealed, is not the picture of fulfilled independence she projects. She is isolated, trading money for genuine connection, and using her wealth to fill an emotional void. She sees in Maddy a vitality, a fierceness, and a youthfulness she herself has lost or sacrificed. Her gift of the expensive dress to Maddy is a loaded gesture. It is partly generosity, partly a vicarious living through Maddy's boldness, and partly a transaction, an attempt to insert herself into Maddy's more emotionally raw narrative. This complicates Maddy's ambition. It shows her that the after picture, the life she is running toward, might have its own hidden costs. The quiet house might also be a lonely one. The financial freedom might not cure the deeper aches. Yet, for Maddy, this does not necessarily diminish the ambition, it just makes the goal more nuanced. She is not idolizing Samantha blindly by the end. Instead, she is learning from her. She takes the resources Samantha offers, the dress, the connection to a client for her makeup business, but she does so with her eyes wide open. Asserting her own terms, she leverages the relationship to fuel her own plan, showing a business savvy and pragmatism that is a direct product of her ambition to be self-made. Maddy's ultimate act of ambition is her decision to leave Nate for good and to pursue a career as a professional makeup artist. This is the crystallization of her escape plan. Makeup, for Maddy, has never been just about vanity. From the first episode, we see it as her art form and her armor, a way to craft the formidable Maddy Perez persona that the world sees. Turning this skill into a career is a revolutionary act of self-preservation. It is a path that relies on her own talent, her own eye, her own hands. It promises a future built by her, for her, where no one can take it away. When she calmly tells Nate, "I don't need your love. I don't need anything from you," it is the triumphant declaration of her ambition realized. The trauma she endured with him did not break her, instead, it became the fuel for a fierce and focused drive to never be in a position of such powerlessness again. Her ambition is her resilience made visible. In conclusion, Maddy Perez's story in Euphoria is a powerful exploration of how trauma can forge a desperate and determined kind of ambition. It is not the tidy, inspirational ambition of a school brochure. It is messy, survivalist, and sometimes morally ambiguous. Her journey shows a young woman using every tool at her disposal, her beauty, her wit, her observations, and even a complicated relationship with a wealthy employer, to design a ladder out of a painful reality. Samantha serves as both a beacon and a cautionary tale, a symbol of the luxurious life Maddy thinks she wants and a reminder that escape is not the same as healing. Yet, Maddy takes the lessons, both from her trauma and from Samantha's empty luxury, and synthesizes them into a path that is uniquely her own. She chooses a hustle, a self-built career that honors her own artistic skill. In doing so, Maddy Perez redefines ambition itself. For her, it is not about beating others or achieving abstract success. It is simply, and profoundly, about the freedom to be the one holding the keys to your own life, to finally slam shut the escape hatch behind you and breathe the air of your own hard-won world. Her ambition is her lifeline, and by gripping it with both hands, she pulls herself toward a future where she, and she alone, gets to decide what happens next.